Hello everybody, my name is Nathan from the Pixel Factory, and I'm here in the wonderful, wonderful world of Scrap Mechanic Land. Now, some of you might be wondering, Nathan, what are you doing here, sitting on a chair? And I'll tell you, this is going to be the first episode of my new series on my channel called Freelance Mechanics, and what I'm doing on this chair, I'm contemplating. I'm contemplating exactly how I'm going to show you guys that big creation that I've created. Now, the first thing that I must point out is that these two creations, the one that I built and the one the community built, use a certain type of mechanic. Now this mechanic is called the suspension glitch. So if you see this suspension right here, whenever that suspension rotates into a non-passable block, a solid block if you will, it freaks out. Look at this. It creates an enormous amount of torque or rotation in whatever direction you want it, in whatever direction you're turning it. Now this is not a friend of mine, but a fellow colleague, much more famous colleague on the scrap mechanic community, built this wonderful design called the Uni-Cycle, pretty much using the suspension glitch to right itself, acting as like a gyrometer. And this is a unicycle. I've got to point out it's unicycle, but it works incredibly well. It steers nicely, it drives nicely, it spins in the air, and you could just max out that wheel down there and it's just killer. It's killer how well this thing works. And what I'm gonna go park right next to here is my own creation called the Uni-Hover. Now pretty much this is the exact same shell as the unicycle over here, except the Uni-Hover, it has thrusters instead of those fancy wheels. So pretty much just gotta press 1. That turns on the gyrometer. It immediately starts wobbling. Then we have to also press 2. 2 turns on the thrust in the bottom. Now it hovers. Now that it hovers, we can drive around really nicely. Spin, turn. It can even fly because thrusters. But it's not nearly as good as the unicycle, I must admit. Unicycle is better handling and whatnot. But I'm proud of the fact that I was able to balance on a thruster and have it hover and such. Let's just park on this rock here. There we go. And see, when you hit something and bounce up, you kind of float up. You don't go straight back down to the ground, you kind of float up. Which is why in that case you just have to press 2. That turns off the bottom thing. So then you fall back down to the ground and then you reorient yourself. Then you have to press 2 again when you're ready to drive off. This is by no means a perfect design, and I challenge those of you watching this video to make a better version. But how do we make it, you're asking? Well, all you have to do is finish watching this video, and I'll teach you guys exactly how to make it. Now the first thing you guys have to have in order to build a Uni-Hover is a unicycle. Now, there should be an annotation flashing on the screen telling you guys go check out this guy's video about how to build a Uni-Hover. Alright, that is absolutely mandatory. If you don't know how to build a Uni-Hover, you're never going to be able to build this. Alright, so I'll pause the video a bit now, and you guys can watch that video, come back to this one, and then we'll carry on with the tutorial. Welcome back, guys. I hope you learned something and have a copy of your very own unicycle. I hope you're building along with me anyway. So pretty much what we're going to do is we're just going to destroy the wheel. We don't need the wheel. Then we're going to destroy this bearing on the inside. Now since we destroyed the wheel, it's off the lift, so we need to go take the creation, put it back on the lift, raise it up a little bit, go right underneath here, place a jet, like right there. Just place the thruster right there. Go to the thruster and set it down to 3 notches. You can toggle with the thruster a little bit, but first set it down to 3 notches. That's a great starting place. Depending on how many items you have on your thing, you might want to boost it up to something of greater speeds. Next thing you want to do is you want to destroy this engine in the back. Lower the whole contraption down to the ground. Take a spare block of any kind. Place it right there. And take your other thruster, place it right there. Now this thruster, check to make sure it's at half speed. You can leave it at half speed, you can change it up, change it down. Do whatever you want with it. Now that you've got those two things down, you're going to have to grab yourself a switch from your inventory. Place the switch somewhere on your vehicle. Anywhere's fine. Take your wirer, run the switch into the seat, and then run that switch down to the thruster on the bottom. Now that way, if you press 2, that thruster will turn on. That way you can control whether or not you want to fly into the sky or fall back to the ground like a rock. Anyway, and then you just gotta hook the thruster in the back all the way up to the front seat, and that is it. That is literally all you need to do from Uni-Cycle to Uni-Hover. Now the next step's a little bit tricky. You have to go into your sensors and boost their sizes all the way up to 12. Now that you've got your perfectly handcrafted Uni-Hover, all you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to run around to the front, step inside of it, press 1, then press 2. And if all goes to plan, you should be able to drive around in flashy style. Now you may need to adjust the thruster on the bottom, and for those of you who are asking, yes, it is completely normal for it to be wobbling around like this. Due to the fact that there's a hover on the bottom, if you tilt to the left, the thruster is going to push you to the left, making it incredibly unstable, not nearly as stable as the uni-cycle, but as stable as you can get with a thruster being your only source of propulsion. Anyway guys, thank you all for watching. If you want to see more Scrap Mechanic or some more Freelance Mechanic series, remember to drop a like, and also comment down below if you have any ideas of something I should improve upon next, or you want me to showcase the creation that you personally have created. As always, I've been Nathan from the Pixel Factory, and I'll see you all in the next video.